Welcome to another video. In this video, we'll be discussing class 10th physics ICSE board. And in this lecture, what I'll do is I'll share with you 10 points, which will help you score at least 10 more marks in your board exam. So let's start. The first thing that I always recommend my students is please do get a physical copy of the syllabus as well as a specimen paper. It is a board's way of telling you that these are the topics which are necessary that you need to please get through. The second thing that the board tells you is that this is a weightage of a certain chapter. So for example, if you look at this chapter-wise weightage of the specimen paper, so you will understand that these are the topics which are important. These are the chapters where the board is giving more weightage. So that is the first thing that I can share with you. The second thing that I need to share with you is please don't skip chapters in class 10th physics exam. See, this is unlike what you did in these recent history and geography exams, where you knew that these were the chapters that you could easily skip. Now, the difficulty that students face is that, for example, you might be one of those people who finds heat numericals very difficult. So now, what I'm trying to suggest to you is please don't skip whole of the heat chapter. In heat chapter also, there are few topics. So, for example, if you look at if you refer the board paper, if you look at the heat chapter, of course, there would be one numerical which will be coming from heat chapter. But if you look, they will ask you consequences of high specific heat of water. Now, this is not a numerical. And if you look at common physical phenomena involving latent heat of fusion. So, you might find heat chapter difficult, you may plan to skip it, but you may find that the board has asked a very easy question which was based on a very basic logic on these two topics: consequences of high specific heat of water and common physical phenomena involving latent heat of fusion. So please don't skip any chapter. In a certain chapter you may skip a certain topic, but do not skip whole of the chapter कि मैं तो sound करूँगा ही नहीं. So please don't do that. The third thing that I can share with you is there are broad sections in physics. So heat, light, magnetism, modern physics. Pick up the topics which you like and look at the questions which have come in the past from those particular chapters. So you can, and that is my next point. So let us assume that I like sound. I understand sound very much. Now I'll pick up the previous year question papers, and from previous year question papers, I'll look at the kind of questions which are asked in sound. So for example, if you ask me in sound, there are two topics which come again and again and again. So one is the characteristic of the sound. So again, if I refer to the syllabus, now in characteristics of sound, when they say loudness, pitch, and quality of sound, so more or less each year they will ask you some question based on this. That question may be based on the graph. That might be based on a qualitative question. The second is a quantitative question which will come from the sound chapter. That would be the numerical. So usually every year they'll ask you some numerical based on echo also. So 2 points that I've discussed together is focus on the chapters you like. Second, focus on the previous year questions which have come from the chapters that you like. And the overall point that I'm trying to make is that please refer to the previous year question papers. Do not go to give the exam without referring to at least 2 to 3 years of previous year question papers. Okay. The next topic is please do simple numericals. Please don't do complex numericals. They won't help you a lot. For a simple reason that the board is not expecting you to do JE level problems. So for example, let us pick electrical circuits. Yeah, simple network of resistors including not more than 4 external resistors. They have told you that they won't give you more than 4 resistances in an electrical circuit. Yes, please don't skip a concept. So for example, they have, again, referring to the syllabus, they have told that internal resistance may be included. So what they are trying to tell you is that we'll ask you a simple circuit. The circuit may have a few resistors in series, other in parallel. They won't be 4 in number, but they may include an internal resistance also. So you should know the concept of internal resistance. So that is what I'm trying to tell you in this topic. In this point, that please do simple numericals wherever the numericals are. So for example, if you are doing numericals, say from heat, refer to the previous year question papers. You will understand the kind of, if you want to do heat, you will understand the kind of numericals that they are asked. If you are doing a numerical from sound, please refer to the previous year question papers. You will understand the level of problems which are asked from sound. If you are doing, say, numerical from light chapter, 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f, then please refer to the previous year question papers. Usually in light, what they ask is that please draw a diagram, and then they'll ask you, then they'll have a numerical regarding that. So simple numericals based on the concept which ICSE board has put in the syllabus. Do not try to do complex questions. Okay. Another very important point that I wanted to make was that, once you have understood the concept, then the board may try to twist the concept. So for example, if you look at this year's specimen paper, they have usually in the textbook you'll see a prism like this, but in the specimen paper they have put the prism like this. So that is board's way of telling you ki if you have been shown the 3 legs of a table, the board might ask you the 4th leg of the table. So you shouldn't be taken aback ki bhai ye kya ho gaya. So the board, in few questions, the board will try to twist the concept, and the board is trying to test your intelligence. Similarly, one of the question, if you look at the specimen paper, is one of the question that they have asked in the specimen paper is regarding the velocity of different colors in a medium. Again, it's a twist on a very simple concept, but you should have the presence of mind and the intelligence, the common sense to understand the answer to the question. Next, another very important thing that you need to keep in mind is that the board has talked about lot of CGS and SI units when they when you refer to the syllabus. So for example, in a moment of force, they have told that we want the CGS and SI units of torque of moment. If you look at the work energy power section, they have mentioned lot of SI units. They have mentioned kilowatt hour, electron volt. They have talked about kilowatt, megawatt, gigawatt. They have talked about conversion of. So the point that I'm trying to make is that when the board has given you in detail that these are the kind of units that they are talking about, you should be ready for questions which will be based on these units. Again, if you come to the electrical power and energy part, they have talked about kilowatt hour. They have talked about the SI and the commercial units of electrical power, electrical energy. So if you have done this chapter, you will understand that the electricity which comes to your home, the billing is in terms of units. So I don't want to go into the details, but you will understand. So they might ask you a question. They might ask a mixed question which will have this resistance and series in parallel, and then they might ask you that what is the electrical power being consumed in a certain resistor. So there might be a mix of topics from the same unit. The last point that I want to discuss is in topics. There are few topics where the board asks very typical questions. So for example, one of the topic that I can share with you is, so for example, if you go to the light section, in light section they have mentioned ray diagram, different cases, angle of prism 60 60 60 60 30 90 45 45 90. Now this is one topic that board likes a lot. They have asked this question in the specimen paper also. Again, coming back to the point that I had made before, if you look at the previous year question paper, you'll understand the kind of questions which are made by the board about this topic. Again, the second topic that board enjoys a lot when asking question is, so for example, in modern physics, what they'll do is they'll give you a magnet and they will pass these alpha, beta, gamma rays through that magnet. It will have the north and south pole. So if you look at the previous year question papers, you will find very good numericals based on this diagram. Again, what this question is doing is it is combining two chapters. One chapter is modern physics, the other is the magnetic effect of current. These are the list of points that I wanted to discuss in this lecture. Now, the same lecture is available in a detailed format where I have gone through each chapter point by point from the syllabus itself. That particular lecture, the link is given below. This is how the lecture looks like. You can have a look at that also. That is in more detail. This is a shorter version of the same points that I've discussed there. So best of luck for your exams. Yeah, before I forget, another thing that I want to discuss is that most of the topics, wherever numericals are involved in class 10th physics ICSE, I have a lot of lectures where I have discussed lot of numericals. So the links of all the playlists are also available in the description. You can have a look at that also. You can. They are a pretty detailed lectures where a lot of concepts have been discussed in detail. So best of luck for your exams. I hope you do well, and I hope that this lecture, the 10 minutes that you would have spent on this lecture, was useful to you. So thanks a lot. Thank you.